Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase, the off-season review, plus the latest news surrounding the Los Angeles Rams, and later was bringing in Myles Garrett, a desperation move for the Rams, and other fan quesos. Let's rock.
We here, man. We gotta take advantage of victory on one way. Let's go. Yeah!
Welcome to Rams Showcase. And now, your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome to Rams Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags, at Sheriff Joe Bags, at Rams Showcase, ramshowcase.com. That's where you follow along on the internet. We are in a brand new sheriff station, man. This is version, I think, 7, Jacob County of the sheriff station. Finally settled into the new apartment, got everything mostly set up here. We will probably be rearranging a little bit as we kind of go on, kind of try to dial things in a little bit nicer, but that's what the off-season's for, man. Getting these reps in and getting prepped for what should be, expected to be, potentially could be a rather fun season for the Los Angeles Rams. So we'll be diving into the rest of the offseason with you. We're trying to ramp up a little bit more here now. So obviously I had a move. I've had just a kind of a crazy offseason here. And then I've been in this apartment for like a month and I just got internet. It's a crazy thing. It was a building issue, not like an internet itself issue kind of thing. So that was unfortunate, but we got that all dialed in now. We are good to go, ready to roll. And I want to bring back I want to go back to weekly, but I'll probably have to kind of ramp up into that weekly. But also still rocking both horns a few times a week. That is with Tuna. You can follow that on the First and Tuna podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Rams Showcase Facebook page. We just had an awesome episode earlier this week, just yesterday, which was, what was that, June something. I don't have any dates. Oh, June 19th, we did that one, where we actually talked about some underrated Rams that me and Tuna, we each selected 5 names of guys that are not getting any conversation right now. And you know what? Reasonable, dude. There's a lot of really good players for the Rams right now. Myles Garrett, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams. The list goes on. But obviously, there's some depth pieces in there and some guys that aren't getting a lot of love that we felt like they deserved. So we gave that to you there. Be sure to check that out. I'll give links in the description below where you can check it out for yourself. But we are live a few times a week. We'll be ramping up as we get closer to the season as well. I'm anticipating some, you know what? I'll just tell you. I feel like there's going to be a daily show happening here soon, whether that is just me, whether that is me and Tuna, whether that is me and Tuna doing a daily show and me doing a daily show. I'm just trying to take advantage of this stuff, man. I'm sick of not talking about the Rams. I want to do it a lot more often, so indulge me, please, and hang out with me as we chat Rams. So we'll also be doing some live shows when it comes to the daily aspect of it. Rams Showcase will not be live. We may do some live aspects, obviously like the pregame live and stuff like that. But for now, it's always going to be a pre-recorded dealio, but no big deals there, of course. And then also to let you know, I am messing around, dude. I've decided, dude. I'm doing it. I'm getting into the Madden space. I haven't played Madden in like many years, so I'm gonna start doing a stream for a Madden franchise as well. So join me there. Details on the way. If you've got any tips or anything like that, dude, feel free to hit me up because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm bad at this game, but we'll get there, man. We'll get there. It's going to be good stuff, man. So real fast, before we get into the offseason review here, I did want to just kind of chat a little bit about Rams Showcase and what's happened recently and where I kind of want this thing to go, which is I think that recently, this last year or so, Ram Showcase has kind of turned into a Mad Libs Ram show for me, where I just kind of have a template and then I just kind of fill that in. And some situations kind of require that, especially the way that I structure my game previews. A lot of that stuff is going to be kind of repeat information or kind of fill in the blank information on that kind of stuff. But I don't want that to be the entire show, and I don't want that to be every show, obviously. So I want to be able to mix it up and have a good time with it, man. This is for fun. It's for funsies, man. I'm having fun. We're talking about a game. Let's have a good time about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that ultimately I feel like Ram Showcase has been missing something, and it's been difficult to put my finger on what I think it's missing. And I've had conversations with different people about it and what they want to see out of the show and such. And I think that overall I'm excited to bring the energy still. I feel like I've always kind of had that. But I also want to be better at producing a show and giving you a high quality, entertaining show that gives you all the information that you could possibly need every single week going into each game. That if you listen to an episode of Ram Showcase, that game kicks off and you know exactly what you're looking for, who to watch for, what to expect out of that game, and you just have a good feeling of understanding what you're about to witness here, or what you could potentially witness. Obviously, things happen, and sometimes things don't go our way. But I just want to make you prepared to go into every single week. I almost take it as the mindset of I want to give you enough information just in my show where you could do your own podcast off of the information that I had and kind of just rant for an hour or however long you feel fit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing here. And I think that ultimately I've been a little bit disappointed in myself when it comes to Ram Showcase. I just want to do a better job. And I know you might be sitting there thinking, like, that's insane, dude, you're doing fine. Or you might be like, thank goodness, it's about time because we've missed when it was really good. Because I feel like it did used to be a little bit better. So I do want to get back into that and just be here for you, dude. It's going to be fun, man. We're going into a season that could potentially be rather exciting. So to be, really ramping this up late June and into July, I think is going to be an absolute blast. So start looking for weekly episodes here soon. It may be a bit while I kind of tailor in like my new intro, new graphics that you've kind of already seen a few of and stuff. So trying to just ramp that in, but we'll be getting back to full action. And then, like I said, live streams as well that we'll be knocking out also. So before every single game, we'll be doing that. And then, potentially a morning show, potentially an evening show. We'll kind of see what happens there. But I do want to break into the daily show aspect of it, which we could be looking at 7 days a week for that, not just a Monday through Friday kind of deal. So thanks for indulging me on that. I didn't mean to take up too much of your life there, just kind of talking about me. But let's get into the Los Angeles Rams. This is a bit of an off-season review here, and the reason that I kind of wanted to touch on this is because there's a lot of things that have happened that I didn't get a chance to comment on because I was not able to sit down and just knock out a show. We've talked about certain things on both horns with Tuna, and we've covered a lot of stuff there. So obviously, if you're following there, some of this stuff may be repeat, but we haven't discussed everything right here on Ram Showcase. So kind of wanted to just filter through the offseason and kind of just go back over it and what we've done here. So obviously the Rams offseason started with a lot of conversation about it, rightfully so. You're coming off of an NFC Championship loss to the Seattle Seahawks the year before that, losing in Philadelphia to the Eagles. Both games in heartbreaking fashion, just one of those things where it's like we felt like we could have absolutely been the team moving on in those situations, and then it just didn't work out, which is unfortunate. But I think that the Rams obviously we saw it with the Philadelphia Eagles game. They had their biggest weakness, which was center. It was Bo Limmer who missed those assignments there at the end of the game, and the Rams addressed that, bringing in Coleman Shelton. That was good news. We needed that. And then this year, it kind of felt like the defense let the team down a little bit, and especially the secondary. And I've been very high on guys like Aubrey Pleasant. Obviously, he has not returned, so we have some different faces in the coaching staff, especially on the back end there. But not just the coaching staff, also just the players and the names that we are seeing. Bringing in, obviously, well, let's go ahead and start with the earliest aspect of it, which was we started with extensions for Les Snead and Sean McVay on February 2nd. Those guys are the architects of this squad, so obviously keeping them around for as long as you can is very necessary. We've kind of heard from Les that he's, kind of eyeballing in the horizon. You can see it coming over the hill here that he's eyeballing potentially walking away at some point, but obviously we're not going to keep these guys forever. And then Sean McVay, we still have no real gauge on how long he'll be coaching. It's just one of those situations where he could leave way too early, or we could be having him as our coach for the next 40 years, which I would not be sad about in any capacity. So we're just kind of waiting to see on that. But hey, the thing is you know what? Yesterday's already gone. Tomorrow's not here yet. Today is the only timing that matters here. The present is the only thing that matters. And these guys are with us today. So let's just live it up while we got it, right? It's not going to last forever. That's the thing, is eventually Stafford's going to be gone. Myles Garrett's going to be gone. Les and Sean and all these guys are going to be gone. We may be a different team entirely. It could be a situation we move to Montana or something. I don't know. But yeah, it could be. I mean, it's going to change dramatically. So it's awesome right now. This is maybe the best era in Rams football history. And so just another reminder, take advantage of it. These are the good old days. Just that, like that office quote of, I wish there was a way to know that you were in the good old days before they're gone. Hey guys, that's now. Take advantage and have a good time watching this Rams team, because they may not ever be this good again in our lifetimes. I've talked to some older fans and they're like, yeah, this is for sure the best it's ever been. This long, you know what I mean? We've already lasted longer than the greatest show on turf with this era of Rams ball. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Two big keeps were Cam Curl and Tyler Higbee. Obviously, Tyler Higbee being that long-timer, 2016. He was part of that first draft class when the Rams returned to Los Angeles, part of that Jared Goff class. But he's been around for quite a while. Obviously, he's kind of one of those McVay guys. Fits just really well into our scheme, and just a smart guy who just understands exactly what his role is asked to be in this offense. And loaded up with a bunch of other tight ends who are extremely talented, which is good news. And then Cam Curl on the back end too, the other side of the ball. I think that Curl, I mean, I think no one's ever going to forget that interception he had in Chicago. That was one of those phenomenal plays that you're just like, man, that's you'd probably try to catch that ball, 10 times. You only catch it once or twice. And so to pull it off in the moment that he did, is absolutely phenomenal. So I think Cam Curl is actually just a huge, huge plus on this Rams defense. I don't think he gets enough credit, but maybe this year is the year that starts to happen. All right. And then also the Rams quickly decided to revamp the CB room, adding Jalen Watson via free agency on a 3-year deal. And then just 2 days later, trading for cornerback Trent McDuffie, both coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs. McDuffie quickly then signed a 4-year, $124 million deal with the Rams. The Rams gave up a first-round pick for McDuffie. So I know everybody's mad that well, not everybody. I don't put you into a box if you're not in there, but a lot of people upset with the Rams' first pick being a quarterback. But we're kind of spacing that 31st overall pick, or excuse me, 29. Was it 30? I don't even remember. Doesn't really matter. But turning that other later first round pick into Trent McDuffie, I ain't mad about that one bit, man. Because as we've said before, and we will continue to say, apparently, is first-round picks are for suckers. And if you pick in the first round, it's because you're a big old bag of bummers. So not us, man, not us. Bubba Ventrone coming over as a special teams coordinator, immediately adding 2 big-timers. That would be Joe Cardona, long snapper on a 2-year deal, also on a 2-year deal. Linebacker Grant Stewart coming in. And Grant Stewart's one of those guys I feel like is dramatically overshadowed by the additions of like Jay Watt, McDuffie, and Myles Garrett and stuff like that. But I think that his impact is going to be felt. I don't want to say it's going to be more than those guys or anything like that, because I'm also a reasonable human being. But I think that he's going to be one of those additions to this Rams team where it's like, oh my gosh, dude, what an underrated addition for the Rams to bring in a guy like Grant Stewart. And as long as we don't hear Cardona's name at all, then that's good news for him. And then let's see here. So after attacking cornerback in free agency, the Rams went for a quarterback in the draft. A surprise, but a luxury pick that the Rams chose to take advantage of. Got that first round pick from Atlanta from the previous year. And I think to take that pick, which really did feel like a freebie pick for the Rams, to take that pick and turn it into a quarterback that you didn't necessarily need, and you can kind of keep him on the bench. You get him learning from the MVP and somebody who's been in the building for a while, Stetson Bennett. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I was pleased about it. I know that the instant reaction from a lot of fans was anger. I immediately was fired up about it. It was like, dang, dude, that's so sick. Like, I really was sitting in there. I was at this little place out here in Colorado Springs, and I was sitting in there. It's like, this is absolutely phenomenal, man. Like we got Matthew now. It's like, if Ty Simpson turns out to be this awesome player, this awesome quarterback, it's like then to transfer out from Stafford to Ty Simpson, that's absolutely phenomenal business, man. That's not something that most teams are able to do. I know we always reference the Packers when this situation kind of unfolds. I think that the Favre to Rodgers one is really the conversation. We can talk about the Jordan Love stuff all we want, but I think that Jordan Love is like the dead center quarterback in the NFL. He is not. He is the average guy in your starting quarterbacks in the NFL. If you're worse than Jordan Love, you're not that good. If you're better than Jordan Love, you're a good quarterback in the NFL. Jordan Love is the bar. You know what I mean? It's right there, dead center, I think. So I think the comparison's more reasonable when you go to 4-12 instead of 12-10. Just my opinion there. Rams then rumble the entire league, obviously, trading Jared Verse for Myles Garrett. We've covered this a ton. There's been coverage on this, so I don't want to fully dive into it here, but Jared Verse is going to go on and have an awesome career, man. That guy is not a bad football player by any means. The thing is though, the Rams still got better. When you can take a player like Jared Verse and move off of him and make your football team better in the process, that's pretty hard to do. And the Rams were able to pull that off by bringing in Mr. Myles Garrett. It's just one of those things where if the Rams would have tossed in another first-round pick on this one, that would have been too much, I think, man. You can't lose Jared Verse and multiple ones. Giving up one and Jared Verse and then a couple of other picks, obviously. Could have been worse. Maybe could have been better, but I think that everybody kind of wins in this one. The Browns get a situation where they get a bonus first-round pick, which we're hoping is 32. And then they actually, bringing in Jared Verse is not a bad thing, man. Younger, obviously, than Myles Garrett. But the Rams are in a spot right now where it's like, hey, you have the MVP on your squad. You've got, Puka Nacua still on not making $1 billion from you and stuff. So the defense needed help. Pass rush did too, and they addressed it. So it's good news, man. Good news. It is an improvement going from Jared Verse to Myles Garrett. How much? We don't know. But our football team got better in this move, absolutely. And this move was more for adding Garrett, obviously, than losing Jared Verse. You didn't even want to lose Jared Verse. Obviously, the Rams tried not to, but he's really, really good. Jared Verse is. But Myles Garrett immediately makes the Rams defense better, simply put. Rams took their weaknesses and attacked them. Offensive line obviously can always use bodies. I know that somebody's thinking that, it wasn't a weak spot last year. Obviously, we did have some injuries in the rooms, but it wasn't something that completely derailed us in any capacity. Obviously, we're getting some news that we'll talk about here soon that could be an impact on the offensive line, but there is not a single team in the NFL that couldn't use more bodies on the offensive line for depth. So I know that's it's a comment from many fans, but it's a comment from any fan base that you could always use offensive line bodies for sure, but I think that the Rams are fine here. Rams defense is what knocked them out of the playoffs. Couldn't stop Sam Darnold, and I have no intentions of throwing a bunch of shade on Sam Darnold. I think he's done an incredible job on improving and taking his career, which felt like it was falling apart, and turning it around and being a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL. How good is he? I don't really know. He's got some incredible wide receivers. He's got an awesome coach. He had a really good running back. Now he's got an okay running back, so we'll kind of see. But again, no shade intended towards Sam Darnold, but when you think that you are a Super Bowl team, you can't let a guy like Sam Darnold just school you like that. So I think that the Rams defense was a little too soft in attacking Sam Darnold, and I think that we did what we could to address that. Is it one of those things? Because I see a lot of these comments from like Seahawks fans that are like, see, they're desperate. They did all this stuff just to beat us. And it's like, yeah, you guys beat us last year. We're going to try to make moves where we can be better than you this following year. What? Like, obviously, dude, that's the weirdest argument to me of like, see how scared they are of us. It's like, dude, you guys knocked us out of the playoffs. And you guys are figured to be another team that's going to be in the conversation come late season, man. You'd probably be one of the final the final four NFC teams, I would guess. You know what I mean? But obviously, dude. Like what? That doesn't even make any sense. It's like saying like, oh, they got Sam Darnold because they were desperate to fill in that gap from Geno Smith. Like, yeah, dude, you got to fill in your gaps, bro. So I don't know. That really surprised me. I was kind of confused by those comments of like, they look at how desperate they are. It's like, desperate? We're trying to win a Super Bowl, man. Everybody's trying to win a Super Bowl. You tell me one team that wouldn't want to add and wouldn't be thrilled to add Myles Garrett to their roster. Name one, man. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Either way. But the Rams defense now has players, I think, better suited to what they want to do, which is press coverage, get after the quarterback. Don't just sit there on a third and 7 and be 10 yards off the line, or a 3rd and 2 and be 10 yards off the line and just giving up all the things underneath. We've got players now that can press. J. Watt is incredible pressing. McDuffie, I think, is and just a top tier player. I am so excited for McDuffie to come in and be part of this defense. But then you also improve your pass rush, bringing in Myles Garrett. And then who knows? Who knows if somebody else returns to this squad and we just murder quarterbacks all across the league, man. Dude, my condolences. My condolences to your quarterback if things happen that we think might happen. All right. But either way. That's kind of what we're looking at for the offseason, man. It wasn't a major overhaul. It was just a little bit of tweaking. It was we saw some spots where we knew we needed to get better, and we did. I think that we knew we needed to get better at special teams. We bring in Cardona, we bring in Stewart, we change out, we grab in Ventrone. We knew we needed to get better in the secondary. I think that's the most improved spot on this entire squad. I don't know if I would say we needed to improve the pass rush, but when you have an opportunity to bring in a guy who is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner in Myles Garrett, you do that. You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't know how much better our defense will be going from Jared Verse to Myles Garrett, but there is going to be some sort of gray area there that we are going to be filling in. And I don't know if it's going to be just here or if it's going to be way up here. We'll kind of wait. We just have to wait and see how that goes and how he fits in with us. But there's no reason to believe that Myles Garrett isn't going to just make some offensive coordinators lose some sleep this year, and that's really all you can ask for. So it's just one of those players where attention goes to him. We talked about that again on the stream for on the 19th, which was. The difference with Myles Garrett, Joshio's tweets was on there. He was kind of diving into some numbers and kind of a deep dive on Myles Garrett and what he can bring to the Rams defense. And I mean, that's the thing, man, is you just took an entire meeting on a Tuesday that's instead of just talking about schemes and what you want to do, you're now talking about how you can take out Myles Garrett from destroying your day. You know, you take what could have been a play on 3rd and 2 and you want to go. You just want to run this play because this is one of your money downs or one of your money plays kind of thing. And now you need to reconfigure that because Myles Garrett's on the field and you'd be running right into him and you don't feel comfortable with that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing, man. That's the kind of impact. So instead of this tight end being on this side, he's gonna transfer over. We're gonna see a lot of those checks come to the line. Running back switches sides to be able to be an extra pair of hands trying to stop Myles Garrett from ruining your day. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Let's see here. I was going to take a break here. We're just going to keep on rolling, dude. Let's get into the news regarding the Los Angeles Rams here. So let's take a peek here. Rams left tackle A.J. Jackson will not be facing felony charges in his domestic violence case. Court is scheduled for the 30th of June. I do believe that date has stood. That's the last date that I heard on that. But I'll be honest, I don't follow as close as some do on this situation. I understand that I cover the Rams and he is a Rams player, but I also take the this is not my business kind of approach to this, but I will give you the updates as I see fit, as necessary. If you do have any questions, feel free. Tuna also does get involved with this kind of aspect as well, so he also may have some comments for you. But the NFL's investigation has no updates right now. No felony does not mean no suspension. A.J. Jackson has been suspended in the past. This isn't necessarily a repeat action, but certainly something where the NFL could still have their say. We are waiting on the situation to unfold. That's just simply put. I mean, we don't know all the details yet. I know a lot of people have formed opinions and are sticking firm on those opinions, which is fine. Not going to tell you how to be a fan or how to react to certain information. That's not my business to tell you how to react on something. I just think that we're making 100% of our opinions based on probably about 10 to 20% of the information. We weren't there. We don't know the entirety of the unfolding, and it could be way worse than we were hearing. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing too. I'm not just trying to say like, oh, he's nothing happened. We're good. Like let him play. All this stuff. It could be way worse too than we initially thought. So again, we are not part of it. We're just kind of hearing. We're hearing about a situation we weren't at from people who also weren't there. That's kind of a lot of where my thought process has come on here. But when it comes to the Rams specifically, if there's any time missed by the Rams left tackle, there are a few names and situations to watch that could be kind of filling in for this spot in the meantime as needed. So one option would be moving McClendon to left tackle and then having somebody fill in at right tackle. with that spot. I know that a lot of people, one of the tweets that I saw about that was, why make two positions worse when you could just make that one position could be the only one that hurts. And I just don't agree with that. I think that it's an offensive line. It's kind of one organism. So I do think that losing your left tackle and then only trying to replace your left tackle, that could make the entire line worse. And if you move over Warren McClendon and then fill somebody in at right tackle, that could, instead of it, offensive line's here, you bring it down to here because your left tackle's out. Moving around and shaking some things up could bring you down to just here. You're going to get worse when one of your starters goes out, but how much and how you kind of configure that is a major impact. We don't know if Warren McClendon could come in and be that awesome left tackle. What if Trost comes in and is absolute brick wall and is better than A.J. Jackson? You know what I mean? We don't know that that's not the case. I would guess not right now, but just because we want to say Trost being a later pick or something like that. But A.J. Jackson was undrafted, so don't tell me that it's positioning that would determine this. It's all skill set, man. It doesn't matter how you got to the Rams. Can you play ball? All right, then let's play some ball, man. So I do think that would be an option there. We do have that rookie, like I said, in Trost, who he could be filling in that right tackle spot. That could be the best configuration. McClendon at left and Trost at right. There's a lot of different things here. Also, another situation that I haven't seen anybody kind of mention is slipping Steve to the outside. He's played in a lot of positions, and he's a good player with plenty of experience now. Obviously, he's had some injury dealings, but I think that moving Steve Avila to that left tackle spot and then maybe filling in like a Didich at left guard, that could also be the solution in the meantime, because it could be 2, 3, 4, 8, however many games, or forever. I don't know how much time, if any, A.J. Jackson's gonna miss. So we are creating contingency plans in our head, and I'm sure the team already has plenty of contingency plans where they kind of understand how they want to attack it. But we are creating these contingency plans in our head that may or may not even be necessary. We may not even need them. The plan is, the hopeful plan would be no, because the most ideal situation would be that none of this ever even happened, and we're just talking about how awesome the Rams are. I will say also that I don't think that losing one player on the offensive line takes you from being a Super Bowl favorite to, we might as well just look at next year. So I feel like that's how some fans have reacted to this situation of like, oh man, right as we get good, this happens. And it's like, yeah, we're still a really good team, dude. Like, we still have a defense who might be averaging just like 13 points against all year. So no, I don't think that losing one player completely derails it. If we were to lose one player to completely derail things, I think that would be number 9. That'd be the gunslinger, the MVP. So, and hopefully that doesn't happen. Obviously, health is a major concern when you start getting older. I'm feeling it myself. He is older than me, but dude, I hope he feels better than me, man, because yikes. But either way. Moving on here, Sean McVay signing a deal with Jordan Brand. He is the third head coach in NFL history to sign a deal with Jordan. Sean Payton being one of the others. One of the awesome things when it comes to Sean Payton and Jordan is he's able to rock unreleased Jordans on the sidelines, and Jordan obviously tailors those to be team color and stuff like that, which means swag is being maximized in Denver, and we're about to see that in Los Angeles as well. So we have like a sick Jordan off in week 3 up in Denver for Sunday Night Football. Man, we'll see who has the the sickest shoes. Man, that's gonna be my major story going into week 3 is who's rocking the sickest shoes, man. But yeah. McVay signing in with Jordan, I think that's absolutely awesome. Devontae Adams also currently has a deal with Jordan, so commercials, promos, I'm sure we're going to get some pretty sick stuff when it comes to Devontae and Sean McVay kind of joining Jordan forces, man. That's absolutely awesome. Cam Curl in the news regarding soccer, and before I talk about this, I do want to just kind of throw this bit in here, is I'm not a person to talk to about FIFA. I don't follow it, all right? I'm not a fan of the organization. I think soccer's cool, whatever, but don't really get into it. I'm not going to fake be a fan, get that stolen valor fandom just because it's in the U.S. right now. I'm good. I don't really watch the sport. I'm not going to pretend I just watch the sport all of a sudden. It's like people get that way with like the Olympics and stuff like that. And it's like all of a sudden they're crazy about a certain sport. And it's like, I haven't watched that ever. I don't care. So that's kind of my own thought process on it. I'm not a person to dive into soccer stuff. I'm a football and hockey guy, man. I also like the Rockies a lot. They're cool, but yeah, those are my sports, man. But yeah, soccer's never been one that I've gotten into. So That being said, Curl is taking some internet heat right now, talking about how expensive it is to get into SoFi Stadium to watch FIFA. Obviously, Cam Curl, he works at SoFi essentially, so he was kind of feeling like he should be able to get in. I think that many people are they're pointing to the amount of money that Cam Curl makes as to why he shouldn't be mad about the price, and I just think that that's missing the point of the entire situation. I think it's like having money doesn't mean that you first of all don't have any issues in your life. Having money doesn't mean that you can't be mad that something's expensive. Having money doesn't mean that you can't be that you can't be upset about a situation where somebody with less money would be worse off, I guess. Like, we don't compare struggles around here, man. Like, it's one of those situations where, like, you could walk into your work or school or wherever it happened to be, and you're like, oh, man, my weekend was terrible, man. I got a flat tire, and then, I got stuck in the rain trying to switch it out, and then somebody is like, you think that's bad? Listen to my weekend, and then gives you like all this stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess no, my weekend was great now because yours sucked more. We can both have crappy weekends, and that's okay. I understand yours sucked, but that doesn't mean that mine is now better because yours was worse. We're not grading on a curve here when we're talking about struggles. All right. Everybody's allowed to be upset about whatever they want to be upset about. And if Cam Curl is mad about the pricing of SoFi Stadium tickets to go watch FIFA, just because he makes a decent amount of money does not mean that he's not allowed to be upset that it's super expensive to get into these things. That's a crazy thing to me. I think that is my best example of talking about just your struggle of like, just because I can afford as many Red Bulls as I want doesn't mean I'm not a little bit annoyed when I go in there and they're not on sale for 2 for $3 or 3 for $8 or whatever it happens to be. Like, that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be like, dang it, man. It's like, yeah, I have the money to buy the Red Bulls. That's not the issue. I wanted to save some. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. So I think that Cam Curl's taking a lot of unnecessary heat right now. It's one of those things. We don't compare struggles, man. Just because somebody is mad about something, just because your life is maybe worse than Cam Curl's, I would assume probably it is. Mine for sure is. But just because that's the case doesn't mean that Cam Curl doesn't have things that he's allowed to complain about. You're allowed to be mad that you have a flat tire just because you drive a Ferrari. People be like, yeah, shouldn't even be mad, dude. Look at the car that you're driving. You're driving a Ferrari. That thing's awesome. It's like, that's not the point. Okay. That is not the point. We don't compare struggles around here. Moving on. Look for some new additions to the Rams roster here soon. Rams are currently 27th in dead cap this season, so that's nothing crazy. Sitting at roughly the $10 million mark when it comes to eating dead cap space. A lot of that's coming from... you got the Havenstein stuff that's going to get voided, and then you got the like Jared Verse. Obviously, you're going to be eating some dead cap there and such. But the Rams currently sitting middle of the pack in terms of top 51 cap space, which kind of trims off some of the guys that are kind of, I don't want to say, there's not a nice way to say it, I guess, but there's like expected to be cut kind of guys, that those guys are probably not going to be impacting your cap number come week one. But Rams are 16th, dead center right there. Definitely have some money that they are able to spend right now, which is cool news. So certainly can be making some additions. But the Rams currently the current Rams roster sits at 84 souls, which means we have 6 spots that could be made available and should be likely will be filled for training camp in July and into the preseason. Rams don't play their starters, so a lot of guys get a lot of reps. And some of those guys legitimately show up to the Rams. We've seen this before. Some guys are excited to show up to the Rams because they know starters aren't taking reps in preseason. They know that they'll have a chance to get into the game and put on some tape for some other teams, which is really good news. So I do anticipate that those will be filled in. Depth is looking solid, but definitely some spots we can create some battles in. Obviously, along the offensive line, you can always create some depth battles there. I think that we could create some cornerback battles. I think that we could create some linebacker battles. I think that we already kind of have some really good linebacker battles going on right now. Also, wide receiver. That's one. Who knows who's going to step in and really take into that QB or that wide receiver 3 role. We've got guys who are certainly capable of filling that, but who knows, man? Maybe it is a free agent right now that comes in and he's just the one that wants it the most. You know, we only need one guy to want it the most. And then you're good. You know, if only one of them wants it, well, then you're the guy, man. If 2 people want it, then who's better, man? Who wants it that little bit more? So obviously, we'll be keeping an eye out for these fill-ins. We'll kind of see where they choose to do that. I'm not sure what to expect when it comes to the extra guys that we're expected to be adding into this. Not sure if it's going to be wide receiver. Not sure if we're looking at potential quarterback. I would doubt it. We're probably going to see Bennett and Simpson take the reps in preseason there. So I wouldn't anticipate that would be a spot. But who knows? Running back, all this, plenty of areas that you can add some bodies in and keep everybody fresh for when you get into the regular season here. And then obviously we do need to touch on the rumors still swirling on a potential Aaron Donald return. Some are saying it's more likely than not. I'm talking about you, Adam Schefter, but Adam Schefter is also one of those guys that he does reports when he didn't actually get any new information. I'm talking about a few years back, the Aaron Rodgers trade stuff on draft day, and everybody was confused by it. There was a lot of reporters that were like, whoa, man, Schefter just got some crazy info. And it wasn't that. He actually said, he's like, no, it was an accumulation of knowledge, a quote that I make fun of a ton because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibilities that it's more likely that Aaron Donald plays than he doesn't. But coming from only Adam Schefter made me feel like there was no new information. He was talking on Pat McAfee and probably just is aware of things like the reports of people texting him and him being like, hey, got me thinking. And I do think that report is not him getting any information. I do think that report is Adam Schefter just accumulating information and then just being like, yeah, I think it's more likely than not. I don't think it's a real report. Either way, there's a lot of conversation going on about it still, and we have some interesting, things leading up as far as a future live edition of Between the Horns, where they are expecting to make an announcement. My personal opinion on that is that it's not an Aaron Donald thing at all, that it's actually uniforms. I think that we're going to see one, maybe two new alternate uniforms. I saw somebody say something about changing the Bills, changing their rivalries uniforms, which I didn't think was even an option. So maybe we could see some tweaks to the Rams rivalries uniforms. I doubt it. Everybody seems to be big fans of those. But I think it's going to be alternate uniform or uniforms, depending on what they would like to do. I do believe we get two, but we'll kind of see what they drop for us. Everybody, I think, is hoping for a really sick throwback. We'll see. It's not a fashion show. Just win some football games, wear whatever the hell you got to, but just win some games. But if Aaron Donald's out here rocking this stuff, that'd be pretty fire, man. I know that much. So it seems like if there's a season for Aaron Donald to return to the Rams and return to the football field, it is this one. It's this season. If it doesn't happen this year, it's not like he's going to turn around next year and be like, okay, now I'll come back. That's not the case. If he doesn't come back this year, he's done. He's good to go. First ballot Hall of Famer. Sayonara, see you later. I'll make sure that I take pictures of your bust in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, because that place is awesome. There's some pictures from when me and my dad went. Incredible times, man. No complaints whatsoever. That place is awesome. Only one complaint is that Torrey Holt's still not in, but whatever. But Aaron Donald has historically not loved the offseason training activities. That's leading some people to believe that his return will be later. I think that with being away from the game and teammates for a few seasons, I'm just not sure if the offseason events are something that Aaron Donald would actively avoid. It just feels like he would want to get back in there, start to get to know your guys. It's a very new team from when he played here. I mean, obviously he's never played with Braden Fisk, only a short time with guys like Kobe Turner. So to get back in and get involved, and then also be that presence in the weight room, and showing these younger guys, what he does to prepare, I think would be absolutely phenomenal. I think they would ramp up the Rams. I think just overall attitude in the locker room, I think it just kind of turns it up a notch. And when you got Aaron Donald being an absolute freak in the corner, lifting all this crazy stuff, I think that even the offensive line, the offensive side of the ball in general, I think that Ethan Evans is out here. He's the strongest player in the NFL right now. So it's like he's going to try to get back and take that title back probably from Aaron Donald. But it's one of those things where I think that his energy in the building and in the weight room would be exactly where the Rams need it. So I personally think that if he were to return, that we'll hear about it before training camp. We'll see though, because there's thought processes, and I'm on that side. I'm on the side where I think if he does return, it'll be sooner rather than later. And I've heard people say that if he returns, it's probably not going to be until like week 8. I don't know if I can agree with that. It might be true, but I don't know if I fully see that. I also don't see him being in a rotational role like some people think. Like some people have said that they think he's only going to come in for third downs, stuff like that, which I guess could be true, especially depending on his level of intensity going into this year. But I think that overall, I mean, he's not old. He's 35 and in great shape. So I just don't think a rotational role is necessary for a guy like Aaron Donald. So this would potentially give this potential move would give the Rams 5 Defensive Player of the Year awards on the defense, and not just on the defense, but rushing the passer, which is unheard of and unfair, if I'm being honest. But AD, he may return, he may not return, and if he doesn't, I just want to say that is for sure his right, and I'm not going to be upset with him if he doesn't return. He does not have anything. He doesn't owe us anything. He doesn't have anything to prove to us, to him, or to anybody else. So he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he wanted to come back and try to get another ring, it doesn't hurt him in any capacity, no matter what the year would look like for him. If something were to happen, or just all of a sudden, for some crazy reason, he's not good at football anymore. I doubt it, but who knows? But he's got nothing to prove, man. He's done it all. So if he doesn't return, I'm completely fine with that. And hey, good on you, man. You had a hell of a career. Stay away, man. That's fine. That's totally fine. I think it was Eric Dickerson that talked about that said, it's like, he doesn't owe us anything. Like he's good, man. It'd be cool to see him return, but I don't think he should. He's good. So we'll see. I think he should. Selfishly as a fan, I just want to see Aaron Donald return, because obviously. But either way, man, he gave us some incredible years, and as much fun as it would be to see AD take the field again, no negatives happen in any decision. Nothing negative happens if he decides to return and isn't good. Nothing negative happens if he doesn't return. It's not like anyone's gonna be like, oh, see, he couldn't even play again, kind of thing. It's not going to be the case, man. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. We would love to see him out there, obviously. The last 99 to wear, the last player to wear 99 for the Rams, hopefully ever. It would be cool to see that back out there again, and especially going to some games this season. Obviously, any chance you get to see Aaron Donald play in person, I'd be fired up about that. We'll take a quick break here, and on the other side, we'll get into your fan quesos. Got a bunch of them, so buckle up. It's going to be a good time. That's next, right here, Ram Showcase. Welcome back in, Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. Time to get into our fan quesos here, and we're going to go ahead and start on the Facebook page. How you doing, Carl? You good? Heck yeah. All right, so this one here comes from James. How confident are you in the wide receiver depth if Puka or Devontae miss extended time? Obviously, those guys are better than the guys that we have on the roster, so it gets worse if those guys are down, obviously. What I would say, though, is that I think the Rams are schematically strong enough to make up for certain shortcomings, obviously. But I think that overall, if we see a issue in the injuries as far as the wide receivers go, I think we see a lot more introduction of our tight ends. So I think that's kind of where the depth will kind of be pulled from. We got a guy like Terrence Ferguson, Colby Parkinson, who can also play like wide receiver roles. So I don't know. It's hard to put into words because, yeah, obviously we get worse, but I do think we'd be fine. We have a really stacked roster right now, so it could be worse. We could have only one of these guys. We could only have Puka, and then if he goes down, then it's like, well, we're really pulling here, but or just Devontae kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like to like plan for injuries, I guess. It's like, I understand you need to, but like I always say that it's like QB2 does not matter until it does. But like last year, our QB2 was irrelevant position, man. It's going to be one of those things where you could look back and I'm sure many people would have the answer, but you could realistically look back on this year in 20 and be like, hey, in 2025, the year the Rams lost the NFC Championship game, who was QB2? And a lot of people aren't going to be able to give you that answer, man. So it's just one of those things where I don't know if as a fan, I don't necessarily like plan for injury or like do that because I don't need to, I guess, myself. But I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does. I'm going to go with it. So you got 2 weeks to catch on Love Island. I don't understand it. I've never seen it. I'm not going to try. I don't care. It's not sports, dude. So why would I turn on my TV to something that's not sports? That makes no sense. Coming here from Edwin, emphasis on the win. Welcome back in, dude. Excited to have you here, man. Yeah, fan quesos are Edwin's, like, I feel like this is where I interact with Edwin the most. It's good stuff, dude. Let's see here. Says, bro, can't wait for the season to start. Hope you're having a good summer. I have 3 for you. I am having a good summer. It's been a little chaotic. We didn't have a winter in Colorado, it seemed like. So, kind of weird. Now it's just so hot and miserable all the time. But number 1 from Edwin. Where were you when you found out about Myles Garrett coming to the Rams, and what was your reaction? I was at work and almost fell to my knees. One of my employees had to help me to my office. Dude, that's awesome. I remember exactly where I was. I was driving down Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I had just passed North Carefree, and I was looking to take a left onto South Carefree. And so I really remember it so vividly too. So I'm driving and I have my map on because I was going to a house that I hadn't been to in a while. I was at work, and so I see this notification pop up on my screen, and it says Blockbuster. Myles Garrett traded to ... because the notification wasn't big enough. And I'm not a big be on your phone while you're driving kind of guy. I think it's rude. I think it's ridiculous. I think I've seen too many situations where people were on their phones while driving and it did not go well. I've lost some. I know some people that are not here anymore because of cell phones while driving. I wasn't driving, but in the worst car accident I've ever been in, I was in the passenger seat and my friend was texting, and then we rear-ended the hell out of somebody. And so stuff like that. I'm just not big on, I put your damn phone down. It can wait kind of thing. I'm one of those, but for sure, as you should be. But so I'm seeing that, and I see ... and I was like, okay, well, we had the rumors yesterday. It's like, it's probably not us. I'm just going to put that out into my own brain. It's probably not us. I'm just going to just not. And then I get a text from one of my friends that just said, some curse words included, was like, oh my goodness. And it was like, oh, that's us, dude. It was like, and I was pretty close to this house. So I was like, let me just get there. So I get there, I pull down my phone, and sure enough, Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. And it was just one of those, like, dude, I was so cocky that day, dude. It was like, I was freaking walking around all smug, like a bed bug, So yeah, it's, that was phenomenal, man. That was good stuff. But yeah, I immediately was just like, I annoyed the hell out of all my coworkers. I got back to the office and I was like, Myles Garrett's a Ram, dude. And yeah, they're still sick of it, but I don't care. I don't care at all. Actually, it's weird. But yeah, that was where I was. I was driving when I found out, when I got the notification. But crazy, man. Gig 'em Aggies, man. I'm fired up about that aspect of it too. So number 2, the only way the Browns were going to give up Garrett is if we gave him Verse. He was one of my favorite Rams. What was your favorite Jared Verse moment? Yeah, Jared Verse was quickly climbing up my list on favorite Rams as well. Immediately he was way up there. Just his attitude, his personality. Easy to be a fan of Jared Verse for sure. Cleveland Browns got themselves a good one, and Browns fans they're going to be so stoked for him. They already are. But when live bullets start flying, man, they're going to be like, whew, this kid is something else, man. It's obvious too. It's like, it's going to be one of those things like Myles Garrett to Jared Verse is going to be like, yeah, man, we saw this kind of potential out of Myles Garrett early on too, kind of thing. I think that's the conversation that we'll hear from Browns fans when it comes to Jared. But I think ultimately, when your question here is, what is your favorite Jared Verse moment? Specifically, so it was the touchdown in the playoffs against the Vikings in Arizona, but specifically where he's flying into the end zone. That moment there was just like, that was one of those, like, I don't even think I was losing my mind at that time. I think I was just at peace with just being like, this is awesome. This is Rams football, and this is sick, man. Like, that was just it, man. So yeah, and then his His little peace sign to the Falcons made me laugh too. At the time though, I was like, "Yo, stop it, man! You're gonna get your own touchdown taken away, bro. Like, stop this." So I kind of hate when that happens. But he was good. He was good. They didn't see it. He did it close to the chest. It was all right. Let's see. Number 3 here. If AD comes out of retirement to join us this year, how many sacks do you think we'll have at the end of the season as a team? Go Rams. Go Joe. Go Edwin. All of them, dude. We have all the sacks, dude. What's the NFL record, like 72, 74, something like that, in that range? I do not think it's impossible that the Rams would be able to break this record if Aaron Donald returns and joins Myles Garrett. I think that's so unfair. And, I mean, you ballpark it. Okay, I don't know the exact number, but let's just ballpark it around 70 to 75 sacks on the season. I think it's 72, but you got to think that, you can probably pull off 20 from Myles, which is nuts to say. I feel like if Aaron Donald returns, you can ballpark him for like 16. You're already at 36. You're halfway there. Then you get all the cleanups from BY, from Kobe, from Braden. You get freaking like Jalen McCullough coming in there for a few and stuff like that. You get like 3 out of your secondary, 20 out of your number one guy, Myles, maybe another 15 out of AD. So you're already sitting at a situation where you're at like 40. You just need 30 more from I don't think it's impossible, man. I really don't. That's a lot of sacks. That's a ton of sacks. But I don't think it's impossible. If any team can pull that off, though, it would be this team this year, especially with the improvements in the secondary for the Rams as well. Let's see here. I want to try to find here one on YouTube that I can end with. What? I don't understand that question. Okay, I'm going to end with one of Peyo's questions here. So I'll find that one. But other than that, we're just going to go down this list here. First one here come from Peyo Time. Shout out Peyo at Peyo Time Rams YT on YouTube. Obviously, you just search Peyo Time. It does the watch parties, stuff like that. Looks like we're going to be able to get together for a game this year, which is absolutely phenomenal. Fired up about that, dude. Fired up about that. So Peyo's question here, first question from Peyo Time is the Rams tight end room one of the biggest X factors in the NFL? As good as they were last year, other NFL fans don't understand how good this group of really solid tight ends are. Thanks. Love the show. Dude, love your show. Biggest X factor? I don't think that's impossible. And I think that what you get with the Rams tight end grouping is specifically the ability to rotate them out. Rotational ability of this tight end room is unheard of, man. So you got Tyler Higbee, obviously you got Parkinson, who are way up there at the top. You get Davis Allen in there as well. You get Terrence Ferguson. Now you add in a Max Clare as well. I mean, this is a situation where I think all these guys are. I mean, obviously, there's certain things that people are better at. Colby Parkinson, I think, is probably our best tight end. Behind that, I would maybe put Davis, but I think that Ferguson is in a position to take a leap. And Tyler Higbee, I'm not going to say he's a bad tight end by any means, but he's just kind of getting older, and he's kind of dealt with some injuries and stuff like that. I think that his presence is more of what we need on the sideline and stuff like that, rather than his just on-field production. But we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things, and that's what it's going to be, man. Is like we're going to see 13 sets with Higgs, Parkey, Allen, and then we're also going to see 13 sets with Claire, Ferg, and Allen. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those where and that's just not fair, man. That's crazy. But biggest X factor in the NFL, I don't know if I would say that, because I'd have to kind of go team by team here and really think what I believe. I would say, too, though, if Aaron Donald returns, I think that's the biggest X factor in the NFL, is the fact that Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald are playing together, because damn, dude. Damn. Next one here comes from Nathan. Who's going to have a better career as a Ram, Aaron Donald or Myles Garrett? It'll be Aaron Donald. I'm a little surprised by your question, just a touch. I understand it, because we could have Myles Garrett for a while. But I think that the impact that Aaron Donald had for this squad specifically, and the things that he was able to do, unbelievable. I think that statistically, when you look at things like certain seasons and sack records and stuff like that, you'll be able to say like, oh, see, but this year Myles Garrett had more sacks than Aaron ever had, kind of thing. But it's going to be one of those where it's like, yeah, but Donald was doing it from the inside, and his ability to everybody talks about that last play in the Super Bowl where he threw Joe Burrow to the ground, but the play just before that is the one that sticks out to me so much more because he, was kind of working a bull rush on a run play and grabbed pretty much the running back and the offensive lineman and pulled them both backwards to not reach the line, which led to the fourth down that he was able to make the play on in the first place. So I think that the impact of Aaron Donald, I mean, that's the thing, though, man, is that Myles Garrett was legitimately probably the best defensive player in the NFL right now. So it's so hard to say. But I think that overall, when you look at full careers, I think that we'll say that Aaron Donald was the better one. This one here coming from CG. This one, I'll be honest, man, cracked me up as soon as I read it. It says, did the Rams trade for Myles Garrett become a desperate move for the Rams? What do you mean by desperate move for the Rams? If the 49ers were to try to make a push for Myles Garrett, would you think that that's desperate? I don't think I understand that thought process, actually. It's like, what makes it desperate? That we didn't win the Super Bowl last year. We're trying to become a better football team this year. As desperate to try to get better. I don't understand it, I guess. We talked about this with Seahawks fans earlier. They were like, see, they're doing all this stuff just to beat Sam Darnold. And it's like, well, yeah, we lost to Sam Darnold twice last year. Try to make moves to improve. What? Yeah, obviously, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't make any sense. We're not sitting here like, when no one's in the office, like, we just got these damn Seahawks and Niners, man. We just got to figure it out. How do we, it's like, how do we become a better football team? And if in the process we get better than our division, then obviously that's awesome. That's the goal. But how did we just become the best football team? It's not like we're making moves because Seattle has this or because the Niners have this. We're making moves because we think we can get better at this spot. So desperate in what sense? I kind of don't understand the question. It did make me laugh because I was like, what do you mean desperate? We're desperate? You had one of the best defensive players in the NFL because you're desperate? No, dude, because we want to be sick as hell. This is why y'all ain't winning Super Bowls, bro. Like, because y'all don't do stuff like this. The Niners don't do things like this. So are we desperate because we make these moves? Maybe you guys should get a little bit more desperate, man. Maybe there's not enough desperation up in the Bay. How about that? Next question. Rams house. Whose house? Will there be a moment or play this season that affirms it will be a... Will there be a moment or play this season that affirms it will be a really special season? Example, Van Jefferson touchdown versus the Bears. That's an incredible pool because I do think that this is going to be the case. I don't know what it'll be. I don't have a guess for you right now or anything like that. I'm hoping that it would be one of those weird ones, though, where it's like, man, that guy's the one that made the play. Like, we have all this crazy talent, and that's the guy that makes the first touchdown of the year that makes us like, that's when Thunderstruck starts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just one of those moments. It's like, that's where Fort Miners Remember the Name begins. And it's like, oh, dude, we're going to be killers this year. It was that play with Van Jefferson, man. You're right there. With that little left side rollout, Stafford throws the bomb, and it was like, we're in the garage, and it's just like, give me one of these, man. It's like, as that touchdown's happening. But yeah, you knew right then that it was like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. And I do think that we see that probably in Australia. We can put on a show for them Aussies, man. But I think it's going to be something out there. But I do think it's going to be a tight end from like, it's going to be like a touchdown from like Davis Allen, where it's like, no way. It's like, dude, if we're getting plays like this from third, fourth, fifth, whatever you want to call them, string tight ends, it's like, this season's going to be unbelievable. Or it's going to be like a BY sacks Purdy, he fumbles it, and Tyler Davis picks it up and scores. And it's going to be like, that's the combo? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It's going to be immediate like that. And I do think it happens. I don't have a guess for you on what that is. I just gave you two scenarios, which I guess it could be, but I do think that's what happens, is that week one game where it's like, oof, this is going to be fun. Get on back over to America, boys. We got some football to play, and it's going to be a good time. Rams house. Whose house? If you could pick a classic rivalry to watch play in a Super Bowl, regardless of conference, what would it be? Cannot pick your favorite team for this. Example, Pats Broncos Super Bowl, Tom and Peyton. Ooh, that's really good. So I can go historical here, too, which is kind of nice. I think any division rivalry would be pretty fire to watch, man. So, like, you get a lot of really good ones in there, too. Like a Steelers-Ravens would be entertaining. I'm trying to think, like, because you're referencing, the Peyton and Tom timing, which obviously would have been an incredible Super Bowl to see that happen. Because rivalries too. It doesn't necessarily have to be just division rivalries or something. So, and I can't pick Rams, which really burns me here because I have a lot of answers for that. I would say like, you know what? I'm gonna blow your question off. I can use my favorite team, and I'm gonna say Rams Eagles would be so heated and awesome. Rams Niners, Rams Seahawks, all of those would be awesome. Rams Bucks for some reason I think would be an incredible time. Rams Lions would be fun. Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm gonna change your question to make it fit for me better. Sorry about it. Rams house, whose house? How many players do we have on our roster that are backups that would star on a team above 500? This is a good question. I let me think for a second. So we've got backups that would star on a team. So we got Blake Corum. That's for sure one. I think that guys like Witt and Mump would be, guys who could show up to a team like. I'm trying to think of just an average team like the Packers or something like that. They would just show up and be like really good. Josiah Stewart, Jalen McCullough, Sean Dolak, I would say, Tyler Davis. I mean, there is plenty of guys who would show up to other teams right now and be absolutely awesome. I was having some discussions recently on Twitter about depth, and people were like, the Rams are top heavy. They have no depth. And it was like, and it's funny because like we had just finished the podcast where we literally went into the depth of the Rams and like talking about why the Rams are actually not like we are a deep team, like we're not top heavy. That's so funny to see that timing come out like that. But it's like we have a lot of positions where we can, and you don't want injuries. Obviously, they always derail you, make you a worse football team. But it's one of those situations where we have a lot of players on our depth that would allow some luxury in the world of injuries, where if certain guys go down, we have guys who are at least capable of doing some damage. Which is good. So it's I think quarterback is like really the only position grouping that I would look at where it's like if we are immediately a worse football team if Stafford's not playing immediately. Not to say that that Bennett or Simpson wouldn't be able to win some games, get some stuff done, but I mean Stafford's just a different level of human being. So yeah, you immediately get worse from him. In fairness too, there's only 2, 3, maybe quarterbacks in the NFL that if you lost Stafford and replaced him with that you actually get better. It's like that's not the case for most teams. If Stafford goes down, you are worse. It's like if Patrick Mahomes goes down, I don't care how good your backup is, you're a worse football team. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I don't care how good your backup is, you're a worse football team now. Just the way it is. So, but yeah, that's a good question, man. We do have a lot of good depth pieces here that are also in position to take over roles when current guys are done, which is really good news. This one here come from Joseph. Hey, sick name. Has the tight end room really gotten better? If so, who's going to make the biggest step forward starting week 1 against the 49ers in Australia? It's a solid question, man. I would say it didn't get worse. I would argue with you if you tried to tell me it got worse. Did it get better? Yet to be seen. I would say ultimately, I think it stayed the same. So who takes the biggest step forward? I really think it's Terrence Ferguson this year, but I think that Davis Allen's also going to be a guy that has a large impact. Oddly enough, I feel like Tyler Higbee's probably like the least utilized and least impactful tight end that the Rams have this year. I think that it's all the other ones that are going to pop. I think that Colby Parkinson, I'd be hard pressed to say that he's going to like break out or like anything like that because I think he's kind of who he is, which is a really good tight end. He's not a superstar or anything like that, but he is awesome. So you can definitely run your offense with a guy like Colby Parkinson. I think that Davis Allen, I'm a big fan of him. I think that this is a year where he takes a leap. I think that Terrence Ferguson just gets a little bit more involved this year. Now he's seen a whole season unfold. Now it's time to get involved, which is typically how the Rams handle rookies going into year 2 is when you start to see those further reps. Max Clare is the guy that I don't think we see a ton of. I think we see him in preseason, but I do think that we'll see him a little bit. But yeah. kind of where it's at, I suppose. But it didn't get worse. Did it get better? Hard to say, but it didn't get worse though. That would be I would fight you on that one. Next one here from Rams House. Whose house? What's now that the sorry, I was reading another one. As I said, yeah, whatever. You get it. Now that the season has had time to breathe, what was your favorite play from last year? Mine is the goal line stop on Swift in that playoff game. Thought he could jump Quentin Lake. Yeah, that was a phenomenal play by Lake, man. Favorite play of the season. There's so many candidates here, man. Tutu's touchdown against the Colts is up there. I would say Kinchin's picking off Darnold. That was at home when we were in rivalries. There was a few of those that looked really good. Jalen McCullough absolutely destroying Jalen Hurts' life on that sack was what was up there for me. Mevis kicking the ball in Chicago to have the Rams move on. Colby Parkinson's catch against the Panthers to help the Rams move on in the playoffs. Devontae's crazy little side catch when, Stafford barely slipped that one in there. Who was that against? That was a little bit earlier. Mump's touchdown because it was absolutely phenomenal setup in London. Jared versus touchdown against the Falcons on that blocked kick would be up there. Yeah, man, there's a ton. If I had to pick one, if you forced me to pick one, I would go with McCullough sack on Hurts. I loved it, dude. That was like, I was so fired up. You could have put me out. I would have made the next play. I could have gotten past Mailata on that next route, dude. I could have done it, man. That's how fired up I was. That was good stuff, man. Good stuff. And then here's the Payo question I want to come back to, so I'm going to skip over that for now. Porter, how do you feel about Myles Garrett? Were you surprised? Yes, and incredible, Porter. There's nothing negative to say about the addition of Myles Garrett outside of it sucks to lose Jared Verse. Straight up, it sucks to lose Jared Verse. Jared Verse is a phenomenal player and dude, but bringing in a guy like Myles Garrett, that's incredible business, man. I was surprised because I didn't think that the Rams pass rush was a position that the Rams were going to attack in a big way, and they did. I think that's pretty telling to say that the Rams didn't go after a different QB2, which obviously we did that in draft, but which also sidebar, Simpson's for sure going to be QB3 probably this whole season, and that's going to make people freak out. Don't. Okay, it's fine. it's fine. And then so I think not addressing wide receiver 3, which is where a lot of fans felt like we needed to make some hits. Offensive line didn't attack that heavy at all. Especially when you lost your captain, Rob Havenstein, retiring, and didn't make a push for it. I think that's trust in McClendon. But yeah, I was certainly surprised, but not mad about it. Not mad about it one bit, man. Muad'Dib in here with the question here. You think the Rams bring back the knuckleball with Ventrone? I don't think that it's necessarily a Ventrone thing of why we haven't used it or anything like that. It's just a situational thing. Obviously, you got to kind of pick your spot for your punts. I think it was Johnny Hecker. What the heck? Had like 12 different styles of punts that he was talking about one time, and he was like, it's all about how you drop it, where you like all that stuff. Like you can kind of spin it as you drop, like on certain things. It was like really interesting to learn about how he does it and where he places the ball, how he's moving his leg to how he wants to send it, the knee bend and stuff like that. It was really interesting, actually. I loved it. To see somebody who has one job. Your job is you kick this ball, you catch it, and then you kick it that way. To find so many different ways to do that and to become really good at different ways to do that, I think is absolutely phenomenal. I love that kind of stuff. That's what a true pro is, And we got a guy like that in Ethan Evans right now, but I don't think that the lack of or introduction of knuckleball is dependent on because of who the special teams coordinator is. I think it's just one of those situational things, and I think that also working with Ventrone, obviously he's going to be the one that's like, hey, try a knuckleball here. We want to do this in this spot or something like that. But I'm so sorry. You're talking about on kickoffs, I'm sure. I'm sure you're talking about kickoffs. I would say probably not. Change my entire answer. Stop listening to me. I'm guessing you're talking about kickoffs. I'm going to guess not. I'm going to hope not. Because I feel like too many times, and maybe it would be different, obviously, but too many times that was if they are able to get a handle on that ball, they're getting good field position. So I think that if you just try to place it and play good coverage, you should be all right. But you know what? Situational again, to see maybe you're in a spot where you're in Chicago playing a chilly weather team or something like that, and can give them a little bit of a sidewinder to try to mess something up and try to get a ball back. But I think that my favorite is when you can try to just hit that front line. I don't think you're allowed to, though. Either way. Sorry, I misunderstood your question, Muad'Dib. It's my bad. Oh, yeah. This is the one I want to end on for Payo time, actually. I changed my mind. I'll go back to this other one. It says, sad I have to ask this question, but it's a legit question now. Who is more likely to get into the Hall of Fame first? Torrey Holt or Aaron Donald? It is unfortunate that you have to ask that question because it's absolutely absurd that Torrey Holt is not in right now. And it's unfortunate, too, because every single year it feels like there's wide receivers entering first year of eligibility where it's like, damn, like, yeah, reasonable. But it's like, Torrey Holt's up there, man. So get him in there. Get him in the hall, man. It's absolutely absurd. But I'm going to say that Torrey Holt gets in first because I do think that Aaron Donald returns this year, and I think that restarts his clock. Boom. Muad'Dib says, who is the cheesiest Ram? Queso questions. I don't know how to answer this question. But if I had to guess, if I had to throw out a name, when I'm thinking of cheesiest Rams, it's got to be Steve Avila, man. It's got to be. And I feel like that makes perfect sense. I'm with it. All right, moving on. Rams house, whose house? Biggest concern for this Rams team? Reasonable question, man. There's not a ton of them this year, obviously. My concern, I guess, if we're looking at a roster situation, I would say my biggest concern is offensive line. You lose a couple of guys on your offensive line, it doesn't matter how good you are. That can really derail you. Can derail your entire game plan if you lose a few key offensive linemen. If I'm thinking of like just overall Rams in general, my biggest concern is that they come in with too big of heads. Or at some point this season it happens. Like maybe they don't enter week one with big heads and maybe they're out here playing some really, really good ball. But kind of felt like last year we lost the NFC Championship game because we weren't ready for that game. We weren't ready for the intensity. Feels like we lost to the Seahawks on that Thursday night game because we felt like the game was over. I know I did. I felt like the game was over. I remember saying to people that I was watching the game with, it was like, if we score here, they cannot score this many points. We're going to win. And we didn't. So it's just one of those where it's like, don't get complacent, man. That's my biggest concern is don't be in a spot where you're sitting here, thinking like, oh, we're too good for them to come back on us, or whether they can't do that to us because we're too good. So no, the hell you're not. That's also an NFL team. And I don't care how talented you look on paper. You're just a bunch of dudes out there. You got 11 dudes. They got 11 dudes. And sometimes it comes down to who wants it more that day. Who's better this day? Who's got the better game plan? What coach saw something in your game plan that they feel like they can take advantage of, and they wait till the fourth quarter to pull that out? I don't care who the team is or how much better you think you are than anybody. Play the hell out of everybody until whistles are blown. That's how you're going to win the Super Bowl this year, is you play the hell out of everybody like it's the Super Bowl every single week. And that's my main concern is complacency. Being like, oh man, look at how sick we are. We beat the Niners week 1, 45-3 or something like that. And we come in to the Giants week 2 and get smoked or something, like that's my concern is like we leave Australia like, damn dude, we are the best, man. No one could beat us. And then you lose a bunch of games. That's my concern, man. Especially we got good teams in that early stretch. So, we're going to lose some games this year. We're not going to go 17-0, man. I just hope that the overreaction isn't, rampant when that happens. Let's see here. We'll go to Rams house again. Player not enough Rams fans talk about. For me, it's Jordan Whittington or Braden Fisk. Fisk is a really good answer here. Whittington, I really like Whittington. I'm waiting for the jump. I'm waiting for the year-to-year jump. I'm waiting for the offseason that he takes his whole time getting better at football. It feels like he's been pretty much the same player every single year, which is fine because he's good, but I'm ready to see a leap. So I would say for me, I wouldn't put Whittington into that conversation yet. I think it's reasonable that he will be, and that we could be talking like week 6, 7, 8 that we're like, oh man, this guy he definitely took the leap. This is why we didn't get a wide receiver 3, because we have this guy kind of thing. I do anticipate that could be a thing. But Braden Fisk, I think, is absolutely in that conversation, especially when you talk about the potential return of an Aaron Donald. It's like Braden Fisk is one of those guys where it's like he's not going to get talked about at all anymore, but he's going to clean up and get like 11 sacks, and it's going to be awesome, So it's going to be sweet, man. Going to be sweet. But I would say Blake Corum doesn't get talked about enough. I would say Konate Mumpfield doesn't get talked about enough. I would say Stetson Bennett doesn't get talked about enough. I think that he's been with us long enough and has been involved in our system long enough, and he knows these players, that if we need him to play a game or two, I feel like that a lot of teams will be like, oh, crap, dude, Stetson Bennett, man. Like, I feel like he could play himself into a position battle next year for a team if we do need him to take some reps this year. I do think that that's a possibility. I think that Cam Curl doesn't get talked about enough. Cam Kinchins, I think, takes a leap this year. Emmanuel Forbes going from CB1 to CB3, I think, is a phenomenal move for him. A lot less pressure. He can play a little bit more loose this year now, I think. Harrison Mevis doesn't get talked about enough. The relief in watching him kick over what we dealt with before he was here, massive. So yeah, it's a good question though. Rams Active, shout out, dude. First time Rams Active is in the quesos here, and it's a hilarious question. It says, how does it feel that everyone thinks everything is your fault? Hashtag blame Joe. Yeah, it's a trend that we are seeing on the Both Horns show that anything bad that happens, it's just my fault. I can't help it. I'm just ruining everything, man. But how does it feel? Feels good, man. It feels powerful. Feels like I'm like a hurricane, dude. Y'all listen to me, bro. Like it's I decide when we're no longer having a good time. All right, that's on me. And we'll wrap up here with Payo Time's question, which is quite the one. I did read this, but I've kind of forgotten what I wanted to say about it now. So let's dive into this question here. Situation: the Rams marketing team asks you to help create a program, a pre-game SoFi guide for Rams games this upcoming season. What tips and tricks and things to do for the following fans? So I'm thinking that you're talking about not just Los Angeles. You're talking about game day, right? Like tailgating and showing up to the venue, I would guess. That's kind of how I'm taking this. So what tips and tricks and things to do for the following kinds of fans? Let's see here. A family of 4, parents and 2 kids, 8 and 11. What I'm telling them is definitely do some laps around the tailgate. That's going to be the case for everybody, but do some laps around the tailgate, but get into the stadium early so that you can kind of check it out. Especially if you've never been there before, it's worth it to do a lap, man. Do a lap around on the top of that 300s. I've done that just about every time I've gone to SoFi. Just do a quick lap, walk all the way around it, just kind of take it all in. You can kind of see outside, and you're seeing LA. You can see, the Intuit Dome and, Cosm and all that stuff out there. And then it's just moseying around inside the stadium, just kind of checking it all out, taking it all in. Is always just an absolute blast. But for the kids as well, definitely got to check out the equipment room. Got to update that merch, obviously. And they also have this thing called the Recyclaw, which I hope is still around this year. It's one of these things where you take your old aluminum cans and then you put them in there, and then it lets you play a game. You could win like a Rampage or something like that. Really cool. Next up, a bachelorette party. Bachelorette party. I don't know. Should have thought about this one. Okay, so bachelorette party. I'm going to say definitely, again, lap around the tailgate. Got to check out that row of all the boosters and stuff, because that's the best one, man. That's where you find all the wackos, man, all the psychos, my people, dude. You get RWO, you get the diehard Rams, you get the Rams World Tour, you get the Rams Republic in there and stuff, man. It's just nonstop awesome in that little stretch, especially. So definitely got to check that out. But for a bachelorette party, I don't know if there's anything specific I would say to do for that, because I don't know. Hardest one on this list, probably. Boys trip. Man, This is getting harder because I feel like it's all just the same. I just recommend the same thing for just about everybody, I think. This is making it more difficult. I want to branch, I think, a little bit. So a bachelorette party, I'm going to say the night before you need to hit up Cosm and check out a game or something there. So, and for the boys trip, you got to check out Cosm. I haven't yet. I want to really bad. So that's where my brain's at. How many different items are there? I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like all the different things you can do. Because obviously the big thing is the game. Trying to wrap my head around your question a little bit more here, Peo. It's a harder one than I was anticipating. I read it initially and was like, I'll be able to do this. And now that I'm actually diving into it, it's like, it's the same answer for all of them. That's not very fun. So I'm trying to think here. Boys trip. Bachelorette party also got to hit. I'll switch that. Bachelorette party, you got to hit the beach. And boys trip, you got to hit Cosm. Elderly couple. Equipment room. And then shots. Keg stands at the tailgate. Rams Republic will help you out with taking some shots. Tailgate, I got you. A guy going solo. Dude, I've done this. Hell yeah. Make friends, dude. Go to the tailgate and make some homies, man. Make some homies. There's some wackos out there, man. Some absolute maniacs. And those are my people. So yeah, it's dang it, Peo, man. I thought I was going to be able to crush your question. I feel like I'm blowing it right now. I really do. Because I feel like all of these answers are pretty much just the same thing. And then 3 fans from the opposing team. I would tell them that the actual best way to watch it is on TV. Get out. Get out of here, man. Yeah, that's I'd probably try to help him out though a little bit and be like, that's going to be your tunnel that your team comes out of. You try to get down there, try to get close. It's harder to get close at SoFi though than a place like Denver. Like Denver, you can go up and like be at the tunnel, like before the game and after the game and stuff like that. Even without tickets in the 100s, like you can get up there pretty easily. I don't know if you can at SoFi actually. So that's kind of an interesting one. But I think for fans of the opposing team, I'd just be like, yeah, drink this in, bro. Drink this in. Sorry, your stadium's not as cool as this one. My condolences. Peo, I wanted to do a better job on your question there. I don't know. I feel like I didn't do it justice enough. That was a hard one though, because I only feel like there's so many things you can do at a pregame. Go like showing up game day and like doing stuff. It's very tailgate, get inside early, check it all out, make sure you stop by the equipment room, crush beers, recyclaw, watch the game, go home kind of thing. So yeah. All right, that's it for your fan quesos. Thank you guys for dropping those, man. I always appreciate the heck out of the fan quesos. It's one of my favorite segments, and apparently one of your favorite segments. When I did my anniversary show, as we are now, of course, in season 11 of Ram Showcase, when I did the anniversary show, that's what most people said. I asked, what's your favorite part about Ram Showcase? And most people said the fan quesos. So it's here to stay. It's one of those things where we may actually do live quesos plenty of times this season. That is the goal. Probably on like a Friday, Saturday night, just going to pop on and just be chatting Rams and with the intention of answering questions with these kind of questions being the ones that are the goal. So be sure to check that out as well. This season is going to be awesome, man. Again, to kind of reiterate, I am fully motivated and ready to rock. This episode specifically may not have as much production as I probably want to have as the season goes on, but game previews are kind of where I feel like my best work is done anyway. So when we do get into game previews, that's kind of where I tend to thrive. I think I think that's my best part of Ram Showcase is the game preview. So that'll definitely be where we have the most production and everything included into the show. But I think overall, I'm just fired up to be back, fired up to be in a new studio, fired up to have a dedicated room to a studio again. It's been something I was missing this last year. Kind of cramming everything into one little area was not that fun. But now that I'm fully set up, this is a complete Rams room, head to toe, man. I need to fill. I got like gaps over here I need to fill in. I got a couple up here. I can throw in like a couple of towels or something, man. But we are pretty much head to toe Rams action in this place, which is hey, Rams active. But yeah, fired up about it. We'll also be doing not too far out from now, actually. Once everything is fully completed, we'll be doing a studio tour as well. Kind of like, I'm going to try to do it in crib style. I need some friends to help me with that. But yeah, I'm going to try to do a crib style thing for my new studio here, the new Sheriff Station. The new Sheriff Station. Let's get a better look at it here, man. Check it out, man. We're fired up about it. Super stoked to be back in your life talking some Rams football, man. Absolutely love this stuff. And again, really fired up for this year. We're going to be doing daily shows. We're going to be doing both horns is going to be really ramped up, working with Tuna there. So yeah, join us, man. This year figures to be pretty fun. So definitely come hang out and let's have a good friggin' time this year watching some Rams ball, man. And even when we're back to sucking, I'll still be here doing Rams Showcase. So drink it in while we got it, man. But yeah, we're here for the long haul, man. Winning doesn't influence my fandom, that's for sure. Although this is pretty damn fun right now, dude. Pretty damn fun right now. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you follow along on all your favorite social media. That would be at Rams Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. RamShowcase.com is where you follow along on the internet. I think you've got it. I have it now, which is very exciting stuff. But that's going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. It has been, it's been so long. Let me try that again. That's going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Rams Showcase on Sports War Radio. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you guys so much for watching, and go Rams.